Before we get to the obvious chance for me to use this Malcolm X video that I love so very much, allow me to digress for a second and joke a little bit. I'm playing. So, a lot of people, right, and especially a lot of women that I might meet in my life wonder, right, damn, this guy's weird. Why is he always just watching cartoons, his politics, and like skating all the time? Why doesn't he watch any like streamers and stuff, or like gym people and stuff? Well, you're about to find out with this video. Even though everything I'm about to say does not necessarily apply to Jidion himself, it applies to lots of even black live streamers and content makers, right? Where a lot of these motherfuckers are Uncle Toms, tap dancing pieces of shit, platforming people up to and including Nick Fuentes, and pretending like he just some crazy wacky guy with crazy wacky opinions instead of being a fucking terrorist piece of shit that he is. Even though Fuentes himself is not involved in this video, Jidion has sat down regularly with white supremacists, so as him, DJ Academics, and so many of these black content creators, these rap fans and MMA people and boxers and all this shit, right? They have sat down with some of the worst people and sold out their community under the lie that, oh, maybe I can change them. Oh, it's not that serious. Oh, I'm just in it to make the money. I fucking know. But if any woman that I ever meet wonder why I'm just so like abnormal and I'm watching like cartoons, anime, or if I am watching a content creator, they're specifically like left of center, this is why. I don't watch apolitical YouTubers, because a lot of them motherfuckers will lead you to Joe Rogan, and the next thing you know, you're believing some shitty conspiracy theory about your own people. These people are hotbeds of misogyny, homophobia, sexism, and anti-blackness, and I refuse to consume their content. Digression over. So apparently Jidion was friends with a racist white guy, I forget his name, and we're gonna find out in a second. And this racist white guy, wound up donating $10,000 to get Chud the Builder, a white supremacist terrorist named Dalton Etherly, out of prison. And then he came back and quote unquote disassociated from this guy, and and is now trying to do some sort of apology tour. And before I play the obligatory Malcolm X quote, this is why I don't do this shit. Like, don't get me wrong. I watch my fair share of predator catches and body cam footage of, pedophiles getting arrested and stuff. But this part of the reason why I don't trust that content, because a lot of motherfuckers in that content bubble are conservatives and are themselves pedophiles. It's too many people that I've known that I had like shirts on talking about kill all pedophiles, which I agree with, and then it turns out they're a fucking pedophile. We have this thing going on in society today of performative anti-pedophilia, but especially only when it has a political bent. I wasn't going to say that at first because I was afraid about what people would think or say, but fuck it, it's out now. But yeah, that's just pretty much why I don't trust this content and why I'm not a consumer of it. Because these people always conveniently, like I said, when it's a pedophile that's like left of center or something, or possibly a gay person or a woman, they have a lot to say, but we won't confront the fact that many podcasters are all across the internet saying that it's okay for a 40-year-old man to date 19-year-old girls, normalizing this idea that that Republican states are upholding child marriage laws. You heard me right. Child marriage laws that you can get married to fucking children. And a lot of these men, again, come out later on to turn out to be themselves pedophiles. So yeah, I wasn't gonna say that at first, but that was swirling around in my mind. And if it's controversial and that pisses people off, too damn bad. I feel like a lot of men that go around posting on social media all the time talking about how they're anti-pedophilia are always the people that wind up being pedophiles, to the point where it makes me kind of fucking weird about reposting anti-pedophilia fucking things, because it's like these guys, especially these white guys who are often at the time fucking racist as all out fucking doors, are always posting shit like this. And then you look at their podcast history, they're watching Fresh and Fit talking about how a 30-year-old man deserves a 18-year-old virgin. But into that digression too, let's get into this video. This video credit goes to this person, and I'm just going to watch the first couple of minutes and find out what happened. But I think that this is also a time to talk about this. So Like I said earlier when I came in to this video, I don't really watch. I'm not going to even blow this video up because I don't think it's necessary. It's only a 38-second long video of why I don't listen to or watch black celebrities. I don't listen to sports. I don't watch sports. I don't follow celebrities. And I don't have anybody that I particularly like. I'm not a fan of Michael Jackson, despite what's behind me. I'm not a fan of anybody, pretty much. The people I look up to, even though some of these guys can be sketchy, is pretty much just pro skaters, animators, voice actors, people like that. I do not look up to basketball and football players, or even some black politicians, or black content creators, because these people always turn out, or not always, often at the time turn out to be frauds, losers, misogynists, homophobes, conservative pieces of shit. So I don't go idolizing them, because they will weaponize your idolization and turn you into a fucking stooge, if they can.
A while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
He was just my friend, and I was trying to change him. But let's get into it. Let's get into it.
A lot more about his public perception, and I can say this confidently as someone who has spoken to him on various occasions. And I say that because it shouldn't have taken public backlash.
Alex Rosen, that's this son of a bitch's name with his receding hairline having ass.
A man to cut off a racist. It shouldn't have taken a racist donating to another racist for Jidion to cut him off. The first time I criticized Jidion and his association with Alex was when I was 17 and still in school. But Jidion doesn't like criticism, and nor does his audience. But that's the exact reason why we're in this boat today. And I need to make this abundantly clear. The only reason Alex Rosen had the opportunity to donate $10,000 to Chud the Builder is because of Jidion's continued support of him.
Because when people came out and said that Alex Rosen was a racist, right, his career started to die down. And then Jidion revived this motherfucker from the dead, because I believe Jidion, he pivoted from gaming to predator catching.
Other people
I believe anyway. I don't know, because like I said, I don't watch the son of a bitch.
Various aspects of the problem with Jidion and his current content creation loop. I think it calls into question his intentions and his morality. How could you continue platforming someone with such anti-black and anti-human ideals? How could you platform someone who clearly does not respect you as an existence? I think the answer is obvious. Jidion had something to gain. And like I said when we were beefing, if you're doing things in the pursuit of gaining, how could you do these things with the properly aligned intentions? I got a lot of stuff I want to...
Every last one of these black content creators that work with white supremacists know better and know exactly what they're doing, but they just have a list of excuses and a subjugated audience that comes forward to defend them, instead of them taking accountability for the fact that they're propping up racist pieces of shit. That's all that's happening here. There's no nuance to it. Jidion knows better. I knew better than this when I was 15. So he knows better than this at like, what, 26, 27? He knows better than what the fuck he's doing. But he doesn't care because he's trying to remain lucrative. So white supremacists will watch him, and he'll be the one black guy that's not complaining about racism.
To talk about today, twin. You already know Donut Man tripping again. So come tap in. Comment for the algorithm. Now, before I talk about Jidion's video where he officially announces him cutting off Alex Rosen, even before I talk about who Alex is, I need to give you guys some context on Chud the Builder and why this is so crazy. Chud the Builder was one of those Christian free speech patriots from the right, and his entire...
I don't think we really need this.
This is someone who Alex Rosen decided to donate $10,000 to. And what makes this really crazy is the only person who's really surprised is Jidion. Everybody knew that Alex was a bad guy, and it's not out of his character for him to donate to someone like Chud the Builder. But what it does do is it puts a very bad look on Jidion and his brand, because even though he may be doing something that is a net positive to society, and I even go as far as to say Jidion is one of the better predator catchers on the platform, but this does reflect very poorly on his branding, which is why I think he finally cut him loose, but I'll talk more about that later. I'm just trying to say, I'm not surprised that Alex would support this, because if you actually go to his Twitter and just type in Nick, you'll see a bunch of tweets of him using this word. Alex is another person who is similarly on the whole free speech patriotism thing, where they think they can say anything with no consequences.
So I'm hoping to bond him out. You know, I myself am a free speech absolutist, and yeah, I just don't think he should be in jail right now.
Yeah, you should be able to go around and terrorize black people by calling them the N-word and then threatening to kill people, and you shouldn't go to jail for that. He went to jail for that, for basically being a fucking terrorist. He didn't go to jail because he said the N-word only. Then again, if he goes in the middle of a public place and just shout the N-word long enough, he probably would have got arrested for disorderly conduct. But, you know, whatever, man.
They fundamentally misunderstand that free speech protects them from the government and not their interactions with fellow private citizens. It's one of the most ignorant positions to take in order to say slurs. That's all I'm gonna say. But not only is Alex typing these slurs, he's literally going out and saying them.
A lot of people, you know.
And I'm just showing you guys this to further get the point across that this was not a red line for Jidion. This was not a boundary he was willing to set. There was a reason why Jidion could continuously overlook someone who has consistently shown that he disregards his existence in his community. Jidion was able to overlook someone dehumanizing his audience and his people because he gained something from it. So it really bothers me that Jidion is acting surprised that Alex went on a Twitter space to talk about prioritizing supporting Chud the Builder over catching predators.
Have to get together.
I mean, it's because these people really don't care about catching predators. Look at somebody's name in this bitch's Adolf, because of course. They care about, you know, political power and looking heroic without actually helping anybody and doing the bare minimum for society. They never really cared about helping children. It just generates a lot of money. And then, like I said, I believe a lot of this content, bro, like I said, I don't know what it is about it, but a lot of these people that watch, consume, and make this so-called kill, catch, like predator content wind up themselves being predators. Not saying Alex Rosen is or Jidion is, but I'm just saying, like, I done seen my fair share of people that when they say catch predators, they just mean gay people. And then a couple of weeks later, it turned out they were like messaging some 15-year-old girl or something. But whatever.
Get this guy out of jail, for real. Like, to do it by telling the truth, do it by contributing a little bit. But, man, I'm serious, bro. If y'all saw that live stream, write a statement to his lawyer and come testify against this shit. Like, you know, do this lawfully, but, man, come on, guys. With that person should not have any fucking victory party, bro. I will literally prioritize this shit over even catching the pedos, because that just pissed me off, man.
And this is exactly why we need to still be able to criticize these predator catchers, because not all of this stuff is done in good faith. Not all of this stuff is done with the proper mindset. This guy is so racist. He's willing to tarnish his legacy of helping children to support someone who is willing to take innocent lives off the planet just because they have mental issues. But I'm not surprised, and anyone who's actually seen Alex Rosen would tell you this is within character, and the only person who is surprised is Jidion. And I want y'all to keep in mind, Alex is currently in court.
He went to court
of Chud the Builder, and like I said,
in a state he doesn't even live in. This nigga flew to go to court.
At the start of my video, a big reason Alex is even in this position is because Jidion has continuously put a spotlight on his content, on his brand, and he's used his bigger platform in order to elevate Alex. And through elevating this racist person knowingly, he has given him enough funds and enough ground to support another racist person. A racist person who is trying to kill black people. And since we're on this topic of enabling racists and giving support to them, we need to talk about how that reflects on Jidion and his branding. It's literally what I've been saying this entire time. If you're not gonna take your work seriously, you are detracting from the serious nature.
Yeah. shit like this. You see what I'm saying, bro? I don't even know about stuff like this, but this is pretty sketchy.
Of catching predators. You call into question your intentions, Jidion. If he didn't just ignore this criticism when people were giving it to him, if he didn't allow his fan base to get to the point where they call all people who criticize them pedophiles, Jidion could have nipped this in the bud when it happened. But instead, over the years, Jidion has stood by Alex valiantly as his knight and told people he wasn't racist and that was his friend. And before I even get to his actual video
because when you're making enough money, you know, you'll say anything as a black person, even if somebody because it's like, I don't understand how can you ignore that. He's all over Twitter saying the N-word like this person just showed earlier. How in the fuck isn't this guy racist? Or have some sort of dehumanizing viewpoint of black people. That's ridiculous.
Discussing this, I want to mention that 2 months ago when me and Jidion were having our beef, I sent Jidion a Kiwi farmland, and this consisted of a bunch of allegations towards Alex Rosen. But one of the most prominent allegations was that he was using actual minors in his catches. And when I tell this to Jidion, not only did he give a very vague answer, but he told me that Alex was his friend and even compared me to a predator.
I know the type of dude Alex is. He's the type of dude where it's like he's like a reactionary dude, and I'm like, you can't be like that. Like you're doing too much of a.
What are you doing to disincentivize him from being like that? You could have left the guy in irrelevance. That's a better punishment than fucking re-platforming this motherfucker and then wagging your finger at him. That's not okay, Alex. Like, what the hell?
Service to the world to where people are discrediting you for shit like this, and I call him out on that all the time. Like, I don't want people to think I'm out here like, Jidion, he doesn't know or he doesn't care. Like, bro, obviously I care.
So why are you platforming him then? That's crazy. You can't say you care about somebody that's in your sphere being a racist, and then you continue to platform and work with and make sure this racist has income. That makes no sense. And it's like, I'm not saying that you gotta pull up on Alex and like fight the dude or something like that, but it's just like, you cannot associate with the nigga, bro. It's really easy to find a white person that's being racist, right? And you're working with them, then the next day you tell them, hey, I'm not working with you no more. You're saying the N-word all over Twitter. What's your problem? And if he doesn't want to change, you stop talking to him. You should have did this years ago. It shouldn't have took, you know, him, a white supremacist, supporting a white supremacist terrorist, to then disassociate with him. That sounds like financial incentive, not actual conviction.
But I like Alex as a person, and I've gotten to know him.
Gang, well, all I'm saying, bro, is that in that thing, bro, this alleged, bro, I don't know if this is facts, but they're saying that he was using minors in his catches, bro. So you gotta look through it, verify it, bro. If that's really your man's, bro, you wouldn't.
I asked him about that too. And what he told me was when he started doing it. I mean, bro, you know what? If you want, I can put.
That's not a valid answer. It's not.
But you want to hop in a call with him and he tell you everything?
No, I don't.
Why would I want to get on a call with a white supremacist unless I'm arguing with that motherfucker? It's nothing to talk to him about.
I don't want to, because as a black man, I couldn't even give my energy to that.
Okay, so you don't want to give your energy to that, but...
Yeah, because we're not tap dancing scoundrels who platform racist. The only time you should be on a platform with a racist person is if you're debating them or making fun of them. If you're not doing one of those two things, you shouldn't be platforming him. And I think this guy, he had a valid point where he's like, okay, I don't want to be associated with this racist.
You want to just, you want to, but you don't want to give your energy to that, but you want to deflect because I'm cooking you on this other topic, and you want to bring up the Alex. You know what's crazy?
He's the one that deflected. Keep that in mind.
Literally, what you're doing on here is the same thing that C-Bot did whenever we set him up. You literally use the tactic that a predator used.
And dude, this was too
That's crazy work right there, to try to say that somebody disagreeing with you or arguing with you is automatically using tactics of a predator. Like, what type of... I don't even think thought-terminating cliche is even a word for that. It's just like... Or the saying for that. It's just like, Why would you say that? This has nothing to do with that. This is a person who disagrees with you platforming a racist. Stay on topic.
Months ago, what was the one thing that changed in these 2 months about Alex?
Nothing.
He magically turned into this person who donates to racists. He's always been this person. But Jidion, instead of taking the criticism for what it was, he compared me to a predator. And I don't want to go too deep on Jidion's audience or the fact that they label anyone who criticizes him as predators. But I want you guys to keep in mind that during this beef, my one critique on Jidion was that it feels like he does things in the pursuit of gaining. And similarly with Alex, when he started doing predator catches, he was pivoting in a new lane of content. What did he need at that time? He needed tutelage. He needed to gain something. And because he needed to gain something, he ignored a glaring red flag. He ignored something that was serious. And that's this racism. That's this anti-blackness. That's this radical bigotry. And the only reason he is now changing his tune is because people on the internet are starting to see Jidion for what he is. The token black friend who does not care about racism. And
I mean, I think we can end the video right there. But yeah, again, I think that you should go check the rest of this video out. And I think that this guy's making a good point. Only thing that Jidion cares about is making money. That's why he's willing to sell out his own community in order to prop up a white supremacist who wanted to bail a terrorist out of jail. You know, again, Malcolm X warned us about people like that. And if anybody ever asks me why I don't watch streamers or I don't consume certain content, Jidion is a perfect example of why. Hey, so is DJ Academics, but I digress.